Hey, if you're renting here in Georgia, you already know our weather can be, well, a little wild. But what about all your stuff inside your place? Today, we're going to cut through all the jargon and break down exactly what you need to know about renter's insurance for 2025 right here in the Peach State. So let's just dive right in. So let's kick things off with a scenario that, let's be honest, is pretty easy to imagine around here. Picture it. One of those big Georgia thunderstorms rolls in, and then you hear it, that awful crash. A huge tree just came down on your building. Is your laptop okay? Your furniture? Everything you've worked for. Is it covered? Answering that one question is what this is all about. Because the answer to that huge, scary what-if question could cost you as little as this. $20. Yep, that's the average monthly cost for renter's insurance here in Georgia for 2025. We're talking about protecting literally everything you own for about the price of a decent lunch. Okay, so let's dig into that number. What does it really mean? How does Georgia's average cost compare to other places? And, why is it what it is? Now, this is where it gets interesting. You can see Georgia's average is a little higher than a national one, which is around $15. And that's really because we've got our own unique set of risks, right? Think hurricanes down on the coast or those powerful tornadoes that can pop up. But even with all that in the mix, we're still talking about an incredibly affordable way to shield yourself financially. So for that $20 a month, what are you actually getting? It's way more than just covering your stuff. Let's break down the three main things that come in a standard policy. First up, you've got personal property coverage. This is the one everybody thinks of first. It's the safety net for all your belongings, your couch, your TV, your clothes, your laptop, all of it. If there's a fire or a break-in, this is the part of the policy that helps you get back on your feet without having to drain your savings account. Next is liability protection. And honestly, this might just be the most important piece of the puzzle. Say a friend comes over and slips in your kitchen, or your dog nips somebody. You could get sued. Well, liability coverage helps pay for their medical bills and your legal defense, protecting you from a lawsuit that could absolutely ruin you financially. And finally, there's loss of use. So if that fire or storm makes your apartment unlivable, what do you do? Where do you go? This coverage helps pay for things like a hotel room, your meals, basically those extra living expenses while your place is getting fixed. It doesn't just protect your things, it protects your way of life. Of course, that $20 number is just an average. Your actual price tag can go up or down based on a few key things. Let's take a look at what those are so you can get a better feel for what you might actually pay. All right, so a few things can definitely move that needle. First, where you live in Georgia matters. Renting in downtown Atlanta is just a different risk profile than a quiet town. Your credit score can also play a role for a lot of companies. Then there are the things you control, like how much coverage you actually want and how high of a deductible you're cool with. And here's a pro tip. Always ask about discounts. Bundling it with your car insurance is a big one, and even having safety features like smoke detectors can knock a few bucks off. So, we know what it costs, and we know what it covers. Now for the big question, do you really need it? Let's walk through a few scenarios to make this decision super simple for you. Looking at the pros and cons like this really helps. I mean, the pros are huge. It's cheap, it gives you incredible peace of mind, and you get that critical liability coverage. On the flip side, yeah, you do have a deductible. That's just the amount you pay first before the insurance kicks in. And it's really important to note it won't cover your roommate's stuff. They need their own policy. Oh, and then there's that big one, floods. We'll get to that in a sec. So let's just boil it all down. If you rent any kind of property, an apartment, a house, a condo, you should have this. In fact, a lot of landlords require it now anyway. Now, if you own your home, that's different. You need homeowner's insurance. And maybe, just maybe, if you're in a furnished, temporary spot with hardly any of your own stuff, you might skip it, but you're still taking on a pretty big risk. Before we wrap this up, I want to hit on one of the most common and frankly most expensive mistakes people make with renter's insurance here in Georgia. Let's talk about the gaps you absolutely have to close. Okay, listen up, because this is so important. Your standard renter's insurance policy does not, I repeat, does not cover damage from a natural flood. With so many parts of Georgia in flood zones, this is a massive gap in your protection. If you want to be covered from floodwaters, you have to buy a completely separate flood insurance policy. And really, this quote from our source material just says it all. It sums it up perfectly. With the unique mix of things we deal with in Georgia, storms, crime, fires, renter's insurance really isn't a luxury. It's just a simple, cheap shield for your financial well-being. So I'll just leave you with this one last thought. We're talking about the cost of maybe one takeout meal a month. When you put it like that, isn't your peace of mind worth it? Isn't protecting your entire financial future worth it? It's definitely something to think about.